All right, guys, welcome back to Spill the Tea with me. I'm here with a special guest today. It's a beautiful day out today. It's a good day to be sycamores. So I will start off by asking you your name, what year you are here at Indiana State, your major, and your preferred pronouns.
So my name is Jake Bain. I am a freshman here at Indiana State. My major is psychology, and my preferred pronouns are he, him.
You guys already know about me, so I'm not going to say all that information. All right, so Jake, where are you from?
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, originally.
Okay. And so, back in your high school, was there a presence of LGBTQ plus individuals? Like, did you guys have any out teachers? Did you have any GSAs? Like, did you see any of that?
Yeah, so we definitely had a pretty good group of openly gay or bisexual or just anybody in the LGBT community group that was at our school. And we also had a club there called Spectrum that was kind of it wasn't just a group for LGBTQ the community. I mean, obviously everyone who was out in the LGBT community was in it, but we also had a lot of allies who were in the community as well who helped, which was really nice. And I was actually the leader of that club our senior year, so it was really cool to be involved in that. And so I think I definitely saw a lot of progression at my time at my high school, from the time I was there in 7th grade to the time I was a senior. There was definitely a lot more people that came out and were willing to be themselves, and just they didn't see it as an issue by the time I was a senior.
That's awesome. Seemed like you had a lot of leadership back in your high school. So, like, how was the demographic of your town that you moved in? Was it, like, very culturally diverse or majority white? Can you give us some information about that?
So St. Louis is pretty interesting. It's a really divided city, actually. It's between the city and the county. It's a lot of places where it's pretty much all black in one area and all white in another area, and you don't see much integration. But luckily, where I kind of grew up in and where I lived and where my school was at was actually a really diverse area, and so I was fortunate enough to go to a high school that was a very diverse high school. And even growing up, my family, I'm biracial myself, so I came from a very diverse family, and so I was lucky enough to grow up in like a very diverse setting, which I think kind of helped me along with my diversity and just kind of being able to be comfortable with myself.
Good to hear that. All right, so a lot of students know this, but you were on the Ellen Show. I bet that was a pretty nerve-wracking experience. Can you give us a little bit of information on that, and how has the media been towards you after the show?
Yeah, so as you can imagine, the Ellen Show was obviously very nerve-wracking at first. I didn't actually get to meet her until like I actually went on the show. So that like the first time like when the cameras were on like was the first time I got to meet her. So that was like my real reaction, and so that was really nerve-wracking. Just meeting like one of my all-time heroes for the first time was really cool. It was like, I mean, it's something I'll never be able to forget, and something that I'll always just kind of keep dear to my heart. And she's honestly like the nicest person, one of the nicest people I've ever met. Honestly, like off camera, she's just as nice, and like she really took the time to talk to me and to talk to my parents and or talk to my mom and my boyfriend and his mom. And so it was just really nice to see that she was like a really truly genuine person. And since then, I think the media has all been really supportive for the most part. I've been fortunate enough to like get to do a lot of cool things since the Ellen Show, and I'm really fortunate that the media has been really supportive of me, and I haven't had to face too much of backlash from the media. It's mostly just kind of from other people, but honestly, it's been a really great experience from the Ellen Show, and it was one of the coolest things that I've ever been able to do.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now you're stuck doing an interview with me. I'm kidding. All right, so you had several opportunities to attend, I'm sure, whatever university you wanted, or you had a diverse pool of universities that wanted you. Why did you come to Indiana State?
Honestly, I came to Indiana State because after I came onto campus, and I'd been looking at them, or they had been looking at me for football for a while, and I didn't know much about it. But when I came up here for my visit for football and to kind of see the campus for the first time, I kind of just fell in love with it. And I actually had a good relationship with one of the coaches, Coach Abrams, beforehand, because he actually went to my old high school, and my grandfather actually coached him in football. So we kind of like have a cool connection there, and so it was nice to just to have already have someone there. And the coaches, I mean, football was definitely had a big piece of why I came here, and the coaches were all really supportive of me, and I felt like it was a place where I felt like I could really be myself. And I had really good conversations with the coach about me being openly gay and wanting to be openly gay here, and he just Coach Malley reassured me that I would be completely accepted. And honestly, he couldn't have said it much better, because since I've been here, I've felt like just honestly embraced and loved by everybody here. So it's been really nice.
So we're going to dive into like a deep concept. Are you ready? All right. So when did you first come out? And how did your experience go?
So the first time I came out was the summer going into my junior year. It was kind of I'd gotten to a point where I was kind of slipping up a little bit on kind of keeping it a secret at that point, and honestly, I didn't want to keep it a secret anymore, because it was just getting too stressful for me. And so I was at a party, like a back to school party right before school was about to start, and I just decided to tell a few of my closest friends, and I let them know that like it was okay to let other people know if they asked, and so I just kind of let the word spread a little bit. So that kind of just happened through my junior year, and it wasn't until my senior year where I really kind of decided to like put myself out there and like I made like a speech to the whole school, because I knew there were still a lot of people I didn't know, and I kind of wanted to just get it all out there and stuff like that. And I realized kind of the position that I was in with football and the kind of the platform I had been given, and I wanted to kind of use that to my advantage to be able to kind of take a stand for the other kids in the LGBT community who didn't feel like they were comfortable enough to be themselves. Because like it was just, to me, it was like I felt like I would be doing a disservice, and like I would to everybody else that didn't have the opportunity to be in the position that I was, and like that didn't feel as comfortable to be themselves. And so I wanted to be there for those people so that they could see that there are so many different types of people who are gay, and there isn't just kind of one stereotype of gay, and that like anyone can be gay, and it doesn't really have too much of an effect on who you are as a person. I mean, everyone is who they are, and I think once people start to realize that, like that's when there'll really start to be a big change.
Seems like I needed you back in my high school. No, that's really awesome. You were able to be yourself at such a young age, and especially during you came out, what, 2-3 years ago? Mm-hmm. This is when Donald Trump was running for president. I'm sure politics was a big thing in your town, especially if you said it was a culturally divided town. Yeah. So I'm sure some students needed to hear what you were saying to get through their day, especially if a lot of them weren't gay, or if you inspired a lot of those students to come out. So seems like you did some really good work back in your hometown. All right, so being an openly gay athlete at Indiana State University must be an experience. Can you share with us how the football team has received the information?
Yeah, so I mean, as soon as I got here, I mean, even before I got here, we had made a group chat over the summer with like the incoming football guys, and some of the players had started to see some of the articles that had come out during the summer before I came to Indiana State, and a lot of the guys had reached out to me and just like told me that they thought it was honestly really cool that like I was on the team. They were excited to meet me, and they were just excited to get to work, and that's kind of just how it's been ever since I got here. I mean, even in the summer when I got here for summer football practices and stuff, like a lot of the older guys would come up to me and tell me like, hey, like I saw your story or something like that online, and I just think it's really cool that you're here and we have your back and like we support you. And so like that's just kind of that's how every conversation has been since I've been here. I've never really felt that I wasn't like treated as anyone else on the team would be treated, and I've just kind of felt like I've been able to just fully be myself, and I haven't really felt like it's been too much of an issue on the football team. So it's been really nice to have so many guys to have my back, and to know that like I'll just be able to always count on them to just have my back and support me.
That's awesome. It's really cool to hear. So now you guys know that the Indiana State football team is 100% LGBTQ inclusive. Okay. All right. So I don't know from your previous answer, but I'm going to ask: have you faced any discrimination, alienation, or prejudice due to your identity?
Yeah, I definitely have. Not here, luckily, but definitely at my high school. Not necessarily from kids at my high school, but definitely when I would be playing sports. Right when articles started to come out about me being openly gay, it kind of sparked a lot of teams that were like rival teams, or some of the teams that were came from like a religious background school would definitely say a lot of harsh things on the field, and they would even make posters and stuff like that, and so that said like pretty mean things. And then I would definitely start to get a lot of comments and like direct messages and stuff online, and so that would get tough. And like at first, like when the articles like first started to come out about me, like I would like obsess about them and like go read the comments and stuff, and like there would obviously be a lot of like hateful comments and stuff on them. So that was tough, just like kind of adjusting to that. And then like I guess the biggest thing for me was being protested by the Westboro Baptist Church. They came to my high school once and protested against me because it was right after I had just signed here with Indiana State, and there's kind of a if you don't know who the Westboro Baptist Church is, they're a national like hate group basically who calls themselves a church, and they basically just go around and they go to like funerals of veterans, and they'll go to LGBT weddings, and they'll just kind of scream and say hateful things. And so that was kind of tough to experience. But and they actually came to a football game this year for India against Western Illinois. They came to protest against me. So just kind of like dealing with that stuff has been tough, but also it's also made me like a lot stronger. And I've been able to see a lot of who my real friends and people in my family and stuff like that, to have my back and support me, and just to know that I have such a strong support system behind me. And there's also so many people now that have my back who I don't even know, and just to have them there with me and to know they have my back is just really nice.
Awesome. We always need allies, friends, family, and those loved ones around us to keep us sane.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so second to the last question. As an openly gay athlete, what words of encouragement would you have for other athletes struggling with coming out or just being themselves?
I would say that athletics is definitely an environment where there are a lot of stereotypes surrounding sports, and a lot of times people don't feel like it's a conducive environment for the LGBT community. And I would say that in my experience, there's obviously always going to be people that are going to bring you down or try to tear you down for who you are, but don't really try your best to not let those people get to you. And it's hard to do, and it's hard to obviously say that, but like when you can find a support system and a group of people that really care for you, and if you can find like a good group of teammates and people that you can count on that'll always have your back, like it really makes a difference, and it helps a lot. And so honestly, for any athletes that are out there that feel like they're scared to come out, I would just say look towards other people who have done it now. I mean, there's more and more athletes now that are coming out every day, and more kids just like me are coming out, and we're having great experiences. And like there'll always be people, like I said, that'll bring you down, but there are also always going to be an even more, like a larger amount of people that are going to have your back and support you and just love you for who you are. So I mean, honestly, like you only get one life, and I came to the realization that like it wasn't worth hiding who I was anymore, and it wasn't worth trying to not be myself, because I didn't want to spend my whole life trying to be someone else and then look back and have a lot of regrets and not be able to have done the things that I like to do. So now I feel like I'm able to be so much more confident, and it's honestly helped me a lot. And I've been embraced by the entire sports community for the most part, and I would definitely recommend it to anybody who's out there who feels like they can't be themselves.
Right, that's really good words of encouragement to those in the closet and just afraid to be themselves. All right, so final question. Being a member of the community, how would you define allyship?
For me, I've always, allies have been a huge part of my life and have been a part of why I've been able to be so comfortable with who I am. And so honestly, I think an ally is somebody who isn't necessarily have to be in the LGBT community, but can still completely support the LGBT community, and it's just there to see, just they want to see like good in humanity, and they don't really, a lot of people that I've talked to who aren't themselves gay, but really support me and what I've done, have just said that like they don't feel the need, like they don't see why people feel the need to like hate on us, like just because of like who we are and what we decide to do. Like what we do and who we love isn't hurting anybody else. And so like that when they realized that, they were like, why? Well, I don't understand this. And so it takes I think allies are really important for the LGBT community, because honestly, like it's good to have the voice of people who can relate to like other people who might be against the LGBT community, because it kind of builds a bridge between the LGBT community and the rest of the people who aren't. And I think it's just really important to have allies there for you to have your back, and it's really important to be there and to be able to stand out, even if you aren't openly gay, or I mean even if you aren't LGBTQ community, like a member of the LGBT community, to be there for us and to stand up just for the good of humanity.
All right, so thank you so much, Jake, for being on the show today. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. He just got out of football practice, so I know he's tired and wants to shower and go to bed. But I do want to say happy birthday, man. He just turned 20 years old today. Yeah. So I hope you celebrate safely. Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for giving your perspective on things, and we appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you later.